Hello, everyone. Welcome to Concerning Crumblings, a podcast where we dive deep into Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere and beyond. Join us as we read through the Cosmere in a year in publication order. I'm Jonas.
I'm Esther.
I'm Elliot.
I'm Simon.
In this week's episode, we will be discussing White Sand volumes 1 through 3. And this episode won't, no, it will be spoiler free for all the other books in the Cosmere. We'll have a little section where we talk about other books. So, what do we think about it?
Okay, so my rating is a 2 out of 5. I would be tempted to say, like, I don't want to be super harsh and give it like a 1.8 or something because it really wasn't that bad. But for me, it just felt like the story was like so rushed and like all over the place. And like Brandon even said in like some author's note thing that he was like, well, I just essentially wanted to bring Tatooine and Arrakis from Dune together and like make a thing, but then I wanted it to be a little bit different than that or something. And then he was like, well, the first draft was like really bad, so then I ended up not using it. And then this company like approached me and was like, hey, do you have like a graphic novel that we could publish? And he was like, actually, yeah. So then he edited it and then it became White Sand. But I just feel like, and then obviously like he went back and edited it to make it a part of the Cosmere. And like I think we get like really cool views of like Chris, who's in Mistborn Era 2, right?
And other places.
And
But
other
yeah.
places.
She's all over the Cosmere. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
then
she's
Oh,
like, yeah.
We'll talk about that in our Cosmere section.
right. And then like other things. But I don't know, it just felt like to me like there's a lot of like gripes that I had about the book that we can get into more detail with like each individual character, but I just overall didn't like love reading it. I didn't feel like there was like a connection to the characters. It felt very like stiff to me, which maybe that's just like my personal issue. I also don't like love graphic novels. I remember reading a series one time that actually was good as a graphic novel, but I think most of the time it's hard to like have that same experience that like I'm expecting to get out of a book in a graphic novel. So that's just, yeah, I guess my preference. But yeah.
I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
I began not liking it. I really disliked the first volume for most of the time, but I don't know what happened. I think I started adjusting to the style more, and the second and third volumes I did enjoy a lot more. And so I think my overall rating would probably be 3 out of 5. It was okay. It wasn't the best.
Hmm.
I have a lot of criticisms with the characters and story, but I thought the world was really fascinating.
Yeah.
And that's probably the strongest thing it has going for it. And overall, just it was enjoyable. I don't regret reading it, and I'm glad to have read it, but I probably won't read it again unless it comes out in like a book format.
Yeah.
yeah, I could go next. So I don't really, I didn't really like the plot as much. I liked the sword binding a lot. I liked how he just created that entire thing. I liked how his magic systems were created, but I don't really kind of disappointed by how he ended things with Kenton and Chris and all of that. I'm the kind of person who hates endings that let you imagine it or say just implying things but don't really say what it is. There's multiple books out there and movies that do this. And it's just like it doesn't tell you what happens. And some people find freedom and joy in that. And I find that, you know, I don't want to say like what's that kind of cheese that has like a bunch of holes in it. It's like it doesn't, there's no substance to it. Well, like cotton candy. It's like it's just so, I don't know, like it just doesn't have anything holding it together and no concrete substance in it. And some people find that freeing and some people find that weak, like me. But but I liked Kenton. I thought he was a good character. I mean, he's just the basic
Yeah.
hero character, so I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say, it, it's setting up for like a sequel because they're planning like it's to do more White Sand, I think. so it wasn't like there's gonna be more, which is that a good thing? I guess what sums up my my feelings of the book is when Jonas said Kenton, it took me like 10 seconds, and I was like, who's Kenton? But yeah, I just felt really bored
Yeah.
by the book. Um, yeah, like I said, I feel like the graphic novel format doesn't really suit me. A lot of the dialogue felt weird and awkward, like, and
Yeah.
I hate it was very there was a lot of like exposition, like a lot of like telling you things, instead of showing you things, which I think we might gather that I hate that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I was, yeah.
I'd give it a 2.5. No, not
Okay.
sorry, 2 out of 5.
Okay, same. So
Yeah, it's
when
the
you're
same as the
saying like he didn't really show you, do you mean like the little boxes that weren't quotations instead of just showing you examples of it?
yeah,
I
like
found
that.
that annoying as well.
It's
Yeah.
so I
Oh,
feel like
that's actually, I have something to say about that.
Okay.
That result, so that comes from, and I'm not saying this is like good or bad, but that comes from the format of being a
yeah,
graphic novel and just being a graphic novel. It's pretty much impossible to show you
Yeah.
those kind of things. So they have to tell you that.
Hmm.
And if you read like manga or any like other comic books or whatever, which I've read a fair amount of, it like it can there's good ways to do that and bad ways to do that.
Yeah.
And I
yep.
feel like White Sand is just pretty clumsy in that.
I
And
agree.
generally as a graphic novel, it feels clumsy.
Yeah.
Hmm. Clumsy is a really good word for this. Yeah. Because it's not like it's not an interesting idea or like I don't know, like the characters didn't have a lot of potential or something. But yeah, I just felt like he kind of fumbled it, you know? Like it kind of
And
had a lot, could have been a lot better,
I,
for sure.
a lot of it has to do with Brandon Sanderson has never written for a graphic novel before. He's
Yeah.
used to writing books, novels, and graphic novels is so different. And
Yeah.
so when you're trying to adjust to that, it can be not that I've ever done this, but I'm sure it would be hard to like figure out what do I like, like
Yeah.
what do I have as like his internal monologue? Because there's
Right.
so many times, like in a lot of the fight scenes, Kenton will be like saying what's happening,
Yeah.
and that's just like a trope in the format,
That
I guess.
yeah, that's I don't know. Do you guys watch any anime?
No.
That's probably
I
good for you.
read I read
Uh,
manga like several years ago, but
uh,
that's basically my only association with like any of that just because I
one
don't like graphic
one
novels really.
of yeah, one of the most annoying things with watching anime, and you kind of just have to get past it, is like in fight scenes, they'll stop for like 5 minutes and explain what they're gonna do, and then they'll do
What?
it.
Yeah,
It's so it,
yeah.
it's
I
just one
love
of the things you just gotta get over.
I love Attack on Titan, but oh my gosh, the first two seasons are so bad at that. It
It's
gets
like
better, but it's so bad in the first.
yeah,
Yeah. But the one anime I've seen that doesn't do that, which I love, is Vinland Saga. But that's besides
I
the point, I
forgot that
guess.
existed. Um, Simon will make our dad watch anime, and he's like,
No,
"What?"
I'm not even an anime. I've watched two
Not
anime, and
yeah.
He's
I've
making
watched
it sound like you're like addicted.
no. I've watched
it's been like a year.
I've watched more anime than him. I've probably seen like 4 or 5 different animes, which isn't a lot, even. But it's
Actually, I've been wondering about doing Attack or reading Attack on Titan with you guys because you guys would actually love Attack on
I think
Titan,
yeah.
I think.
Really?
Attack on
Yeah.
Titan is
Wait,
the
if
best
you show me
anime.
It's
it, I might know what you're talking about. But I guess we can Google that
It's
later.
got big. Never
it's
mind.
like it's a very Western story. It's like so it's more approachable to like Western audiences, I guess.
It's really cool. It's about
It's a very good story in my opinion.
we can get
That's
into that
besides.
later.
Yeah.
Um, what's next?
It's
Okay.
very popular, but
Yeah.
so what happened in this story? Well,
Yeah.
what did happen in this? No.
Honestly, we don't
So
know.
okay, there are so Kenton is a sand mage or a sand what do they
Sandmaster?
call it? Sand no yeah,
Astral?
a sand master. No, master is like the really powerful. So
Sorry,
he's a
he
sand master.
becomes them later.
Yeah, he's like an acolyte to the sand masters and he's trying to train to become a mastrel so that he can
Yes.
change so he can change the corrupted Jedi, I mean Sandmasters.
Yeah, the correct.
Um, and but the catch is he only can wield one ribbon of sand, which
And
means
the
he's the
other
weakest
catch
person.
is he has daddy issues.
He has daddy issues, which are quickly resolved.
Yeah,
That's
quickly.
crazy.
In the first like 10 pages.
Yeah.
His dad dies.
It's
Um,
like, wait, have you seen like? I feel like there'd be a meme. It's like Brandon Sanderson trying to write a character without daddy issues, and he's like, oh,
Yeah, I know. Every time.
yeah.
amazing.
Honestly, though, that's like every single
It's
character
so
he's
Yeah.
written.
Yeah,
well, I
I
guess
mean,
Ace
Luke
didn't have daddy
Skywalker is
issues.
sitting there
and
like
he
wanting his role back, guys.
and he
Seriously.
like every man, like young man character
Yeah.
Okay.
has that.
Kaladin,
Yep.
Adolin,
Adeline.
Adolin,
um,
Rauden.
I would say Serene has pretty
Yeah,
good
Serena
dad.
doesn't. She's great.
yeah. But
Yeah,
like, but isn't he like hiding stuff from her too? So she's like,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't.
He kind of like coddles her a little bit.
yeah. All right. Continue with the summary. Sorry.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we have Chris, who is from the dark side of Tel-dan, which means that there's no sun, basically. And she is coming over to find to I don't know, I think to find traces of her dead betrothed, Gevon. I think.
Gavilar.
Gavilan, Gavilan,
No,
Gavilar.
maybe
I thought it was
something
Gavilar.
like that.
I'll look it up.
Um,
Gavilan. I think. Can I say
and
something?
It's Gavilar.
after Kenton and the Sandmasters basically get wiped out, Chris finds Kenton. They kind of team up and they go through Taldane and do a lot of stuff. And then Kenton is trying to save the Sandmasters from the different things, and then other things happen. At the end, there's like a battle, I think, and then there's another character called Aes that is like hates Kenton and wants to kill Kenton, but by the end, she's like, you're not too bad after all,
You're not
and
so
saves
Yeah.
his
bad.
life.
I
That
mean,
was
yeah, because he saved her life, and she's like the opposite religion. Because it's like that's what I found so funny is that the Sand Lord, like, is not related to the Sand Masters, and so I kept getting confused because I was like, wait, why aren't they serving the Sand
Yeah.
Lord? Like,
Oh
I guess
yeah.
they're like their own god, like the
Uh-huh.
Masters are like their god or something. I have no clue, but yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
also there was like. Am I like, did I miss something about his mom? Like, they kept talking about how she was from Darkseid, but they never talked about what happened to her.
Yeah, they
Chris.
never did.
Yeah, I think
Her
that
mom's his
it's
mom's
probably gonna be
Chris.
set up for
Okay,
like,
okay.
Like the same age. There was
yeah,
like a
they're probably
Honestly,
real
that's
related.
big.
true.
Knowing Sanderson and how much he likes coincidences, they're probably related.
It's probably his, like, his grandma.
Yeah.
Oh
Bro,
boy.
was it just
And
me?
Jonas,
Was there tension
no,
between
That's what
AS
I'm saying,
and
dude.
I
and
didn't feel any tension
I
at
thought it was
all.
IS.
I
Oh,
I said
wait.
A's in my
Like
head.
AS. AS works good too.
Ice, A's,
I thought there was
I
tension, and then I found out that she was married, but that she's also like,
see.
okay,
I'm like,
Ken, I guess I'll just, like it was
She
Wait,
does not
like
seem
kind
like
of
the
she
type
hate.
to
pretend
be
Wait.
married.
it.
also,
Yeah.
Ace does not seem like she loves her husband at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
like that at all. Like, she was just kind of like, well, I guess I betrayed my God and family in one day, and I guess that's just what happens. I don't know. Like, my kid almost
Oopsie.
died, and like my husband doesn't have a job. I just have to like be this like warrior, I guess. And I was like, what's your husband doing? Just sitting at home all day? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, what does he do?
Yeah.
We
feel
don't
like
know.
I
He's
feel
a
like
Yeah.
stay-at-home dad, I guess.
I feel
Which
like
like is one thing if she's like a nurse. It's a completely different thing if he's just at the house and she's out there like about to get killed because he's like, I won't get a job. You need to go work for the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I just like I just did. It was like the enemies to lovers trope, except
That's what I was
wait,
looking out for
Wait,
too.
enemies to friends.
but it never was because AS was married. So
but it was
Right.
more like enemies to toleration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
I just
like,
feel
He's
like she
like,
owed
but I don't know. I thought that was a cool story beat, like how at the end, well,
it was really cool. Yeah.
yeah, she was, or he was like, he like saved her family. I thought that was cool.
yeah.
yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know, but I can't stop.
Okay.
Uh,
So
What the
we're doing
heck?
world building and the magic systems are. I have I don't this I've just a person. Why are dark side people black? This is my question.
Because
Because no, because shouldn't they all be like super pale? Because
If
like
we're
they're
thinking
in the
about like
dark all the time.
because
Shouldn't
the sun would produce more melanin in their skin.
right. That's what I was gonna say. The
but
melanin
people in
is
Africa are most black. So should
well,
it be the
no, I was
opposite?
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, it
but
should be the opposite. All
right.
the
Haldane,
day
Hal-
dayside people should
I
be
get
like
extremely pale when I don't see the sun.
yeah.
Haldane
That's
works
the point.
differently.
Oh,
Why are they so dark?
so then
Though?
why are they so dark?
Yeah.
We don't because Brandon's Mormon. I don't know.
No, guys.
Because he's Mormon. Just
That's
blame
just
it
my
to his.
answer for everything.
No, this is a
Mormonism is
real
crazy,
segment. This
bro.
is a genuine question. Like,
Okay.
Mormonism is the
logically,
craziest.
in a
Logically, it
world,
does not make sense at all.
yeah, it doesn't. It feels like he was
Because
just like,
especially because no one is sunburnt on dayside too. Like
yeah,
they're just kind of like, yeah, it's like 116 degrees here. We're just chilling. It's fine.
it,
We like
it's like,
literally can't eat out of bowls because they'll melt if they're even existing. Like glass will literally melt, so we have to use carapaces to eat out of, but it's
is that
fine.
real? Is that true? Did I miss that?
They were like they said how they had to eat out of like
Yeah.
like the carapaces or whatever from like animals. Like they couldn't eat from bowls because they would melt.
I don't
But
remember that. That's
but they're
crazy.
all they
Wow.
just
But
like
then they're like
apply
not even
sunblock
sunburn
all
or
the
anything. They're
time.
just kind of like, yeah, this is how it is, guys. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Why aren't they? They would be like super dark. It's just logically makes sense. It
Yeah.
doesn't. Your world doesn't make sense,
No,
Brandon.
no,
This
it does make sense. You know why? Because it's the dark side.
Oh my gosh.
dark people on dark side. No.
Uh,
Well, okay, you have to understand the skin color is determined differently on Tel-dan
That doesn't
somehow.
make sense.
how do you know
Uh,
that?
They're not human,
Explain,
guys.
Brandon.
That's the only conclusion.
That's fair.
Okay, that's a problem I have.
Okay,
All
can
right,
we?
I'm
Okay,
fine. I'm looking at a Reddit page for
is
this. I'm gonna
world
find an
building gonna
answer.
be magic? Is that the magic section too?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so the only time I ever saw sky marks mentioned was when she was wearing that red dress to the ball and at the very end when Chris was talking about them. So why aren't they mentioning sky marks other parts? Like, because then they're like, oh, sky marks is like part of the surge binding, right? Isn't that what it's called?
What is sky marks?
I have no
Yeah.
clue. Let's look it up. Sky
Hey, I
marks.
feel like I'm still on the skin thing.
Okay, I found a genuine answer to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you guys look at the map at
Sorry,
like the
star
very
marks.
beginning?
That's what they're called.
Did you guys see the map at like the very beginning?
No.
Where it showed like the planet, and then on one side was the big sun, and then on the other side was the white dwarf sun.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've got like two suns.
So apparently the little sun, which is on the dark side, produces a lot of UV light or something, and that's apparently to this
So
answerer on
this is
17th shard that the UV light, the weird UV light, the trout might say, I don't know, might be some investiture to that, makes it that makes them
That
dark
makes
skinned
so
for
much
some
sense.
reason.
Because it's not
So
necessarily it's like the
okay,
rays. So if
if it
they
was
have
like
the
a
same rays,
purple-ish
fine.
star, it would have a very high the light. If you measured the wavelength of the light and the frequency, it'd be extremely high, and that's a lot of energy. The higher the frequency, the larger the amount of energy in a piece in some like piece of light, I guess you could say. So you could have a star that's not super bright, but can have a lot of energy spewing out of its core or from its surface. Like, I
Yeah,
guess again, that's what they're trying to go for.
probably.
I
I
feel
also
like
think the dayside sun is really weak too.
That's
I was
fair.
just
That makes
I was
sense.
looking I was looking at I'm just looking at this like um thread on 17th shard, and these people are saying that like the sun is weak, and that's why there's no sunburns and stuff.
But then why are their bowls melting?
So that means that the amplitude, so that means there's a lot of brightness, but no energy then.
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
saw.
like it. I feel so
I
I
contrived.
feel like
It
I think
feels
the dark
like
side sun
It
makes sense now, but not the
it all
day.
started when Brandon
feels like
Sanderson said that the planet was tidally locked, which is a astronomical term for planets. And then he just kept going on and on and on down the rabbit hole of astronomy and astrophysics and never got out
I
and
feel
never
like
got help.
I feel like Brandon like made the dark side people black, and then he didn't because it was like dark side, dark people, and then it's like, but why? And he's like, oh, because it's UV, of course.
He just like came up, he like Googled under the table. He's like, yeah, that's why.
yeah.
I feel like
Do you? I don't. I feel like this is a huge issue though for
it's not like
for
a
the world
plot issue.
building.
It just makes me mad. And
Yeah,
I know
it's
he
one of those things where
provided
you're
like
like, just get it right, please.
yeah, just have the day side people be like dark, and then let dark side people be really pale, and it's fine. It works.
Literally.
Like you don't have to have this like contrived reason. I
Hmm.
mean, it makes sense. I just don't like it.
Okay, so for world building, maybe this question is kind of related. I don't know. So why this is okay, so this is like kind of a dumb question, but it just occurred to me, is there no women sta sandmasters because they're just kind of like,
Oh,
women, do your thing?
I thought there were.
There were?
Yeah, wasn't there?
Oh.
You mean the
I
judge?
could have
I just
You
feel
sworn.
like there
mean the
wasn't any
judges
highlighted.
with the girl with the
Yeah, you're
umbrella
right
there?
though.
I
Sorry.
There
just mean
was
like,
there was a
I
girl at
guess
the very
like
beginning.
you can't really tell.
They all
Because
wear
then I
hoods.
was like, well, they're not really like a misogynistic society because they have women serving on the guard, and the
Yeah,
woman is in charge of everyone.
I just don't think there was any like main women.
Yeah, because like the
But
main
there
the
just
main
wasn't a
set
reason.
this main Sandmasters were like Kenton and Dryle, and that was it. There were,
Yeah,
and maybe Aloran, but those were the
right.
Laura.
three characters, I
When
guess.
you
I
guys
think
keep
he
saying Kenton, like Kinton, like that, it sounds
Huh.
like you're saying Tintin,
Oh,
the other graphic novel. And I'm like,
yeah.
wait, we're talking about Tintin
Japanese
now?
one.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, yeah,
Uh,
and then okay, so I guess this could be characters kind of too. So the Sand Lord, is he autonomy the shard, or is that something different?
That's what I was wondering. I think it might be.
okay, this is another like little world building thing that I dislike.
Okay, sorry.
Um, I just felt like myself age another like 5 years every time they like use sands as like an exclamation. It just felt so cringy. It's
Damn.
like
Sands.
sands.
I
Like
shut
Dormant.
it's
every
like
time.
like dirt. What?
He literally just
Oh
Oh,
my
saying
a
dirt.
dirt.
fan.
It's really funny because the other thing I noticed was that all of the characters' names were just weird spellings of names that we have like here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Really?
Like
like
Eric, like Eric.
yeah, Eric,
Oh yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
um,
It's
I
not
guess Kenton
Arak,
could have been like
and
a
that's like a
Canton
name.
or something. And I just was like, dude, he really just sat there and was like, what can I like make this pronunciation weird? And then it's like still the same idea. Because I feel like his names for Stormlight are obviously very creative. And we keep
It's
going
like
back to the name Stormlight. It's not going to be the same, obviously. But like,
I feel like. Sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
honestly,
I was just gonna say. I think Brandon Sanderson is pretty bad at naming things. Like just generally, I just like don't like. I think it's especially bad in Elantris. I know we're
Yeah.
done with. We didn't really talk. I didn't really talk about it, but I just think the naming schemes in Elantris were just really bad.
Yeah.
And
Like
a character,
Aeons, okay. Like, dude, that doesn't
Like
describe
yeah,
too
what it
too
is.
too hard to figure out
honestly,
or something like that.
honestly, I
yeah,
feel like
and they're all like, and they're not consist. Like the linguistics are just like not consistent. Like I mean,
mhm.
okay, I guess this is going back to White or Elantris, but like kind would be pronounced differently from like um shoot, I'm forgetting.
I mean,
There's something
English
else.
isn't
But it was just
consistent.
like all different.
Telrai.
Yeah, from
I mean,
Tal'Rai.
English isn't consistent at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
just like in a fantasy book, you should like it just makes it so
yeah,
much harder to read, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't want to be
For no
like
re for like no reason.
Yeah.
it's like
But
for J.K. Rowling and stuff like that when she named her characters, like they weren't weird, but like you can almost there's also movies, so you could know how it was supposed to be pronounced,
True.
but like
And yeah.
it wasn't like incredibly
It-
difficult.
Most of the names are real names.
Even Stormlight. I think the names in Stormlight are pretty good. Like
Yeah.
Kaladin, that's easy to pronounce.
Yeah.
Alan,
Dalinar, you can
Adin,
get that the first
Adam.
try.
Do you think that so when I first read it, I obviously said Jasna because I'm an
Yeah.
idiot.
Well,
Oh,
so
And
did everybody,
I
to be
think
okay,
fair.
everyone's.
and
Some
then I
people
like
still say
heard it and they
Jasmine.
were like Yasna. And I was like that actually I think that's actually cooler and it makes more sense for like the for Alethkar or however you say
Yeah.
that. And like
Lafar.
for that area, like that makes sense for her name to be pronounced that way.
Yeah,
Uh
because it's yeah, yeah.
None of this is spoilers, by the way. These are just
yeah, these
names.
are just names. Like you're not gonna this means nothing to you if you haven't read it.
Zeth. Zeth is like a hard to pronounce name.
I think
I
it's
say
so cool though.
it's cool. I
Zeph?
think it's
I
the
think it's
coolest.
cool too.
It's
Yeah.
like you kind of like
Zeph.
do the
Some
S and the Z at the same time, like Zeth.
Yeah.
Death's
It's
son.
weird,
Like
but it's
that's
really
like
cool.
Valano. Like that's really
yeah.
The
cool.
lot. Yeah.
All right.
Valano.
Maybe we should
Also,
save. Sorry.
why does are we saying ice or A's?
Yeah, I say A's.
I don't care.
Ace.
I mean,
I say
I think I said Ias in my head.
Me
I don't
too, but
remember.
I don't really yeah, okay, so ice,
Ice.
she
Ice.
every time I say that's
I
literally what
I
just played in my head.
say
Um, so why did she call Kenton
Oh,
Raikensha?
right, Kensha. That's what her like people or guild or whatever calls the Sandmasters.
Oh, okay.
Right, Kensha. It's just
Uh,
another name for Sandmasters.
okay, cool.
Yeah. Can I say something? We've been very negative on the world building. I
Yeah.
feel like I just want to bring some positivity into it because I think that is the strongest part of this book, in my opinion, at least. I think the world you can tell is pretty well developed, and I just love. I think the having like the dark side and day side, while weird, and as we talked, it's just a really
Yeah.
cool. It's still a really cool concept, and it being tidally locked
Yep.
It
is
is.
is
with
interesting.
hockey over.
It's profound, honestly.
It's profound. No. But
Profound
I,
enough for Elliot to wake up.
and as someone who loves both Dune and Star Wars, I just love the
Yes.
like I love sand planets.
Yeah, I
It's
yeah.
love Sand Planets, but I still think Brandon didn't do a good job. I
wait,
hope
why
he
not?
well, I mean like I gave it a 2 out of 5. Like I just feel like
True.
well, I guess yeah, I guess from the world building aspect it was fine. Like I think it had a lot of potential, but like as far as characters go, I just was like
Yeah.
the plot like because the characters had so much potential too, but the plot was just like why is everyone dead in like the first 2 chapters?
No, I agree with you. I'm talking about specifically the world build the
Which is
world.
very similar to Dune actually, when all those people die at the beginning.
Spoilers.
Sorry. We've all seen the movie.
That's not the
Wait,
beginning though.
who
That's like
wait, who
halfway.
died?
That's like halfway through the
Oh
book.
yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
brings
been a while.
should we move, are we done with world building?
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
so.
Moving on to characters. Oh, Esther, you have something to say?
Yeah. You want to start us off
You want to
with a
start us
bang
off?
for
Okay.
characters?
First of all, why is High Judge Helis in charge? Like, she's not doing anything, okay? Has really weird hairstyle. That's just my personal thing. Secondly, I just am confused, like, what did she do? Like, was it like, oh, it's in like our code that we have to have someone who's not a sandmaster in charge, and like we need someone to like regulate us or something? Or was she just kind of just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll take charge of this? And also, why? Yeah, so like first answer that question, I guess. What do you guys think?
Why she was the
Yeah,
leader? Because
Because
wasn't she the high judge? Like the
I know,
leader
but
of
like
the
what made her
council?
that? They just like elected her?
I don't know. I don't
I
think they
it
give
doesn't. This is the problem. It doesn't
I
explain.
don't we don't know her backstory.
That's fair. I
So
just didn't know if you guys knew something I didn't.
Yeah.
My other side note is that it feels like Brandon is trying to get us to feel like we have connections to the characters, so like making us feel like, oh, like we're gonna like we get this character, we like empathize with them. And so he'll like mention nicknames or like have like slang with them or be like when Kenton and Eric like are meeting up again and we're supposed to like feel this like brotherly like love and like oh they're like reuniting and we're like we have no idea where he's from. Why does he like this person? Is this person like what is going on? And like I know that's like gonna be an aspect of like some like books and like obviously you're not always gonna have like a background and like I feel like my main gripe about most books is that I feel like I don't have enough time with the characters to like fully feel like I can feel connected to them. And but like you were saying last week, Elliot, about like other books that you've read, you have less time with them, but you still feel like you have more of a connection. And like that, I don't know, like I just don't think that was written very well.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel,
sorry, go
I
ahead.
agree.
yeah, yeah. It felt like everything was moving so quick, and I feel
I
like
know. Like
we just
first
had
of
like
all,
no time.
literally, it's not even like, oh yeah, there's just not even enough time. It's like, okay, so we enter the book. I'm like, okay, we're entering in. I've just read this like prologue with this random girl, and then it's like, okay, now we're like here and like this guy, I guess the guy's his dad, but I had to like
Down
reread
a
that.
quarter.
That's
Sorry.
fun. You're fine. I literally feel like I like read it and then I like read it again and I was like, wait, okay, who even are these people? So we have like Dryle, we have Kenton, we have the Lord Mastrel, I guess he's the guy in charge. And like it was like okay, like we're getting somewhere. And then it was just like, oh yeah, and like now he's dead and we just have this like mysterious water theory. And then there's this other girl that's here now, and I just felt like that was like way too rushed. Like I feel like that needed to happen like halfway through the first volume or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Um,
I I
I
wonder.
had
I'm excited because this. I'm both. So the novel, he's novelizationing it. Hopefully, it'll come out this year or next year. I
Yeah.
hope the novel feels. He says he wants to keep it generally the same, so like you can read either one and it doesn't affect it, which has some negatives because this sucks. But I hope
Yeah.
it feels. I feel like he could make the novel just feel longer and give us more time with the characters without.
I
Yeah.
want to Esther, I want to address something you said about, well, I mean, we just talked about the character spending like, sorry, sorry, let me restart. About about your what you said about spending time with characters and how like sometimes it feels like we don't spend enough time. I feel like it's not necessarily a matter of how much time we spend it, or I feel like it's more about how we spend the time. And okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what just happened? um,
What?
um,
Did I
but
do something?
and
No.
and sorry,
Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like sometimes Brandon Sanderson, one of the his biggest criticisms is that his books are way too long, and I think that's often true. Um, but it just like not to you know not to throw subtle jabs at any
Yeah.
specific book.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, like WAT ring any bells?
WaT, not Watt, because real
Yeah.
time. But
Not what?
I one of
Is
my
there
favorite,
obligatory?
sorry, one of my
There's a,
favorite
sorry.
one of my favorite character writers is Stephen King, and he's able to like make you connect with a character in like one page or like
Wow.
even less. Sometimes it's like two sentences and you're immediately on board with them and like rooting
Yeah.
for them. And it's just like, how does he do that?
Hmm.
Because I think Brandon Sanderson can do that sometimes.
He did that for me with Kaladin.
Yeah,
That was
like Kaladin,
the chapter. Yeah.
Dalinar, you're
That was
immediately down with
Adeline
them.
for me.
Yeah.
Adeline for me too.
Adeline, my boy, I love you.
And so my
R.I.P.
question is, why do we
R.I.P.
not,
No, sorry.
my question is, or like, what's different from Kaladin and Shallan and Kenton, where we cannot, like, we just don't feel like connected to him at whatsoever.
I
And,
know.
and it's just like, maybe it's the formatting, maybe
Yep.
it's the writing, maybe it's both of them. It's
Well,
just like,
I guess we can go to the page where he's introduced. So we have this like first thing where his dad's like talking to him, and so we see like the first few pages interaction between him and his dad. And I feel like for me, like I was like, okay, like we're like dropped right into the middle of the action, like with any Sanderson novel. And I was like kind of on board with it. But then it just felt like it felt like almost like watered down, where it was like, oh, I'm gonna choose this because like this is what's good. And then I made a note about something that I like was consistently annoyed with. So I said like Kenton feels stiff and it's hard for me to relate or empathize with him because he like will do an action immediately. This is not, I guess this isn't really the main reason, but this is something that I kept noticing over and over again. He would do an action and then he'd go, wait, would my dad do that? Yeah, he would. Okay, I guess I messed up. Like, I don't know. Like, that's really bad that I did that, I guess. Because, like, my dad would probably do that, and I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, well, I guess I'll just go do something else now. And it just felt
Yeah.
like
We
so,
weren't
like,
really ever really
he
introduced
didn't
to
really have,
the
like, a
depth of his
passion.
dad.
What?
We weren't really ever introduced to the
Yeah.
depth of his
His,
the dad's
Yeah, and the
character.
thing is,
So
his
his
dad
dad didn't
died in
seem
like
that bad.
10 pages, and his dad didn't seem that bad,
Yeah.
and he died
exactly.
in like 5 pages. So we
Literally.
have no like
No
frame of
context.
reference to
What
care
would his
about
dad
Kenton
do?
or his plight. And in the very beginning, Kenton's like, I have to change the what's it called,
The
the
Diane,
DM.
because my dad did all these
Yeah,
horrible things.
because it's so
But, like,
bad and it needs to be changed, and we don't
and
know why. Like, why
but
does it
then
need to
it's
be
like,
changed?
yeah, what was he doing that was so horrible? Was he also
The
sacrificing people in the hallways?
no,
Like, what's
no.
going on?
I think the only bad thing is like they were just like not helping people with their sand mastery. Like
Yeah,
they
they
weren't
Yeah.
weren't
doing.
they weren't
That's
like
not.
telling themselves out.
I got
Yeah.
so they were like okay. I was this is I'll wait
I
for
could
Paul.
just I heard a very audible thump. It shook the whole house.
No, they were like sorry. Sorry. I've been kind of sick.
That's
They were like yeah, we gotta close down. The council is so dumb. They're so
Yep.
dumb. They're
Yep.
genuine idiots. It's like
Yep.
Kenton brought up like a really good argument. Like they were like, we gotta close down the Sandmasters. It's like, okay, then you're gonna have all these people with Sand Mastery. It's like, and there's not gonna be no one to
There's gonna
train
be no
them.
order. It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
they're just like, yeah, chaos.
And another criticism is the stupid thing that set off the entire chain of events that was the plot of this book or story, whatever you want to call it, is the fact that Kenton's trying to save the DM from the dumbest rule ever. Because they're like, you need a unanimous vote for
I
the DM
have
to survive.
never in my life heard of a government that does that. Like, why would,
Well, no,
like,
it's because like they already voted, and so like now it has
But
to
can't
be.
they just like
why can't it
reverse
be
it with a
3-4?
majority? Why can't it
It
be
Because
a
here's the
does.
thing.
majority?
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
should.
matter if one, because if you think about it, there wasn't even that many people in the council. If one person says no, everybody else is derailed. So that actually doesn't make any sense at all,
Yeah, yeah.
logically.
That was one of my biggest problems.
Also, um, what was I gonna say? Specifically, like with I think I was gonna go back to with the characters that we're just kind of like randomly like are supposed to think of as like because I didn't feel like there was I guess our technical like antagonist would be Ellerin, right? But we didn't know it was.
Yeah, he's like the secret
I
one.
feel like there
Or
was like multiple villains in this. So like we're kind of like, oh yeah, so his dad was bad. Obviously his dad's dead now, but like his dad was someone that like caused all these bad things to happen. And then like maybe I just did not read it well enough into this, but like Shazarine or whatever his name is, what is going on there?
yeah, I still don't. Was Chirstian
Here's the
was
thing.
yeah,
This
was he
I
Ellerin?
never knew what was going
Sanderson,
on.
Sanderson, okay, like he to me I'm like, wait, was he?
Hmm.
I don't remember because
Wait, what's up?
He was.
they thought it was the Lord Beggar. Which side note, I thought the Lord Beggar was pretty cool.
No,
I
I
it
don't
was
know.
like
just a
that character
random
a lot.
guard. It was just a random guard
I thought it
Who
was Ellerin.
was who was
Gander and
no
Branson.
Ellerin.
Oh, you're right. It was one of those. It was one of Ice's like coworkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just
yes, you're right. It was. It was one of her coworkers. But to me, I was just like,
Oh
why
yeah.
why is it him? Like, why is this guy like what purpose does he have besides like religion to be skinning some guy's eyelid? You know? Like it doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
make any
yeah.
sense.
Okay, we can cut this out, but the best part of this podcast is talking about normal things while the dumbest crap is going on screen.
And Elliot's just like doing
We're like
that.
I
having
was
normal
showing
conversation.
Jonas his cards.
What cards? What are
Earlier,
you
you
doing?
were Simon was talking very seriously about something, and
Yeah.
your entire like up to like your ears just fully here, just taking up the whole screen.
I was like reaching forward and past, just like
I thought
behind
you
my.
were like doing it on purpose, and then we just get an up close of like just your lips. You're gonna have fun editing that.
I'll just keep it in.
No.
Uh,
So
Last
I
week it was
think.
the dogs. This week it's your ear.
Oh my gosh.
you reveal. They can slowly
Okay.
build they could print out pictures of me and build me slowly.
You.
Like the.
Okay, so
Have you
anyway,
guys seen the
back to
Truman Show?
Shazarim or whatever. How do you pronounce that? Shazarim?
I don't
Who is that?
remember
I don't
even.
know who that is. Oh,
He
the
was the guy.
the crime lord.
So he was the guy that Ace is like trying to catch the whole time. The reason why she's abandoning her family every day. And the funniest part to me was that she literally was
Okay.
like, yeah, like Melis and my husband, like I really just have to like go. Like I have to find this guy. Like I just have to find him. And it's really weird because I was
I'm
like,
betting my family
was
for
she
myself.
like seeking him out to find him? Like, or
That's
like, because we don't know if she was seeking him out first because he was just doing bad stuff, or like what was going on because I thought that they were like,
This is why she secretly likes Kenton because he's trying to get away from her family as much as possible.
yeah, big red flags.
Wait,
Absolutely
what?
not.
I'm
Really
What?
like
just, I'm,
Stanton?
Okay, can I say something about Ice's character that I actually enjoy?
Okay,
Uh,
what?
I agree that there's a lot of weird,
her
like it's
masculinity.
just what? I was gonna say
What?
that. Um,
Like
I
like
think
you as a role model for masculine things because she's so masculine.
Have you guys all read Hunger Games?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like Katniss and Peeta, but like times 100.
sure. Maybe
Is it?
that's weird. I never saw any
Oh,
tension between them at all, though. That's so weird.
yeah.
Husband and wife?
No,
No.
between
No,
Ice and
Kenton
Kenton.
and Ice and yeah.
Oh, I just was like, oh, this might go somewhere because every author loves enemies to lovers, and then I saw she was married, and I was like, oh, that's not gonna go anywhere.
Okay,
Nope.
They
yeah,
should have had her have an affair with him.
yeah, and leave her family
She
because
was already
And
gonna
then
plan on doing that anyway.
he
And
leaves her
she's like,
that's
family.
the right
at the end, she's
choice.
like, honey, I just have to go on this religious journey to find myself, and you're not
Well,
welcome, even though we
no,
married.
no, no, no. That let me talk about
Sorry.
what I like. Explain why I like Ice as a character, kind of.
Oh gosh, this better be good.
Oh my gosh, this is every time I hear her name, I just think of
Can you
Ice
let me
Today.
talk?
I just think of Ice Today. That's all I think of.
Okay,
That's what
everybody put yourselves on mute so Simon can talk.
No, I
So
will not be muted.
I will not be silenced.
I
You
will.
will not.
I live in a free country, a
Okay,
free
shut up.
democracy. I can do whatever I was gonna.
Dang it, you are the leader.
Oh
Stop. What'd you even do?
wait, is it? Am I just in the spotlight for me? Sorry. Okay, you can talk.
Um, so Ice is a good character because so her whole thing is that she follows the Sand Lord. Like she's a what do they call it? I want to say shoe dress so bad, but the
It's like
religion. Oh,
Khazarati.
I had to talk about this. They're called Chirstians. I think that's how it's pronounced, Kirsten.
Oh
This is
my
what
god.
it's so funny to me. Anyway,
It's like
there's
Irish
no
pronunciations.
That kind of sounds like something.
there's no I'm sure there's no in real world correlations to Kirsten. But no, she's a Kirsten. And she follows it extremely zealously. Is that the word? Yeah. And she has these values in her that she like follows to the most extreme, to the point where like Kenton, a good man, she like hates irrationally just because it goes against her set of values, which I mean, which is I guess admirable to like follow a set of values that extremely, but also it's unadmirable because it leads her down some bad paths. But by the end of the book, or like I guess throughout the whole book, she's like having an internal struggle where she has these extremely deep set of values in her gut that she feels as true and she knows are true, but they go against her religion. And so she's thinking, and so in her mind, she's like, Kenton's not a bad person. He's doing so much good for all these people, and yet I have to kill him.
It's almost
But
like
and by the end of the book, she ends up rejecting the extreme zealotness of Chirstians, I guess, which is but and in favor of like I don't know what she feels in her gut is true, which I thought was very similar to Huckleberry Finn.
Talking about like more plot stuff. Okay, so let's talk about Eric a little bit. So I feel
Okay.
like he that whole scene where he's like talking in the mirror is just him kind of hyping himself up, right?
It was like him kind of going through his like all his struggles, I guess. At
Okay.
first, I was a little confused because I
Me
thought he was
too.
talking to Kenton, but then I realized that he's just talking to
Yeah.
himself. Um,
Yeah. The whole scene was kind of weird for me because I was like, we're like, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm pretending that everything's fine by like using comedy to like cover myself up, but in reality, I'm actually deeply struggling and I have like a bunch of problems.
What
And then
was Eric's
his
deal?
then he all of a sudden, I literally hate this is probably my least favorite part of the entire book. And then he's just like, I literally almost started laughing. I literally, because he gets there and he's like, okay, yeah, like this is so funny, da da da, making jokes with Chris. And then he just like flips this way. He's like,
when he becomes emo or
yeah.
whatever.
And he was just like, and then he's just like, then he
So
won't say anything. And he's just like, my lord and my lady. And I'm gonna leave the ship because this is horrible. And I just have to have responsibility now. And I was like, get over yourself.
Yeah, when he
You're
was
an
like,
adult. I'm sorry, Peter Pan, that you can't keep being your little self and have parties and whatever. Literally get up, pick yourself up on the ground, and go walk and be an adult. Thank you. That's the end of that story. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like
well, the thing is, he clearly had some deep trauma
that's what
that
I'm saying.
just
But
wasn't
like,
explored. And that's
yeah,
something I think will be better in the novel because
yeah.
be able to understand what's happening more, I guess.
I
But
think it's weird because it's like for some reason this like really annoyed me because I was like I think it annoyed me not necessarily because I was like, oh, he doesn't have like an actual issue. It was more so that I was like, why is he handling it this way when Brandon is always so particular and careful with like characters with trauma? So then why would that's actually okay, well, in the first four, okay. You just keep pointing to
hmm.
it.
it's like our obligatory wind and truth slander.
Yeah, where's mine? I can't see it. It's like
Can you see mine?
is it it's over there. You can't really see it. It's on the other side. Right there. It's like by my Aragon books. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like I just was like I just didn't like that whole sequence at all because if he's dealing with it in that way, then like why like I just have never
Yeah, he was.
I don't even know how to word it. It just was like the weird, and I was just why are you like mourning the fact that you have to grow up? But then also like your dad's dead,
Well,
so you're not really gonna know like
do you remember when the
the
flip switch,
result.
or do you remember
What?
when the switch? Do you remember when the switch flipped? It was
Yeah. Page.
after he killed all those people. Remember?
Yeah, and then he comes out of nowhere, kills all them, and he's just like,
So my question, I thought he had like some that like some tortured past or something that like when he
no.
when he started killing again, it just like switched that flip in him, and he or flipped that switch in him, and like I don't know, just like it like brought something back up about him that I think he was like suppressing for like a long time. But
yeah, I'm
I
fine.
agree that it was handled pretty poorly.
I just think
You
it was so
ever,
stupid. Okay, wait,
you
I
ever had
think
like?
we're
Oh,
close.
I
I
guess I
think
cut you off.
I just started like typing ragefully.
Can I say? Have you ever had like a conversation with like a kid whose
Oh
logic
yeah,
is like really dumb?
that's what I was
That's
thinking
what
of.
it,
I felt like
yeah,
even the
that's what it felt
5-year-old.
like. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
everyone with responsibility is evil and dumb. And
yeah,
it's like, okay,
yeah.
what's your solution, smart guy? What do
That's what I
you,
thought was so weird. Is then like he had that whole argument with Chris like on the way to Lazarine or whatever it was.
I don't remember.
Lazarus, I don't know. Um, and so I was just like,
Leviathan.
yeah, Leviathan. He
Joe
was literally
Biden.
like the Loch Ness Monster. Keep saying L words. No, yeah,
Donald
literally,
Trump.
it was so weird that he had that talk with like her, and she was like, "Are you like psycho?
JD Vance.
Like,
Yeah.
I love
no,
Jonas.
Brandon, JD. Okay, well,
Hello,
anyway.
brother. You have something called the
Can
JD
we
Vance.
can we shut up about political figures?
Okay. So anyway, my point is though, like I just feel like it was so weird that he was just like, yeah, all leadership is bad, like you were saying. And then Chris is like, what are you talking about? Like it's not like that's just what being an adult is. And he was like, well, that's just it's bad. And I'm like, so like the only time it's kind of like those people that like try something two times and then this is the worst thing ever, I hate it.
Yeah.
And you're
Or
like,
like
you just had two bad authority figures in your life, your entire life, and that's what you think
Or like
leadership is. Open your
people who
mind a little
DNF
bit.
a book and then give it 1 star.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what
Or
I was
like
about to
don't
say.
finish it. Yeah.
Or like read the first chapter of Way of Kings and like thought it was said it was the dumbest thing ever. But
Listen to
No,
me.
literally.
If you DNF'd a book and then rated it and reviewed it, you are the scum of the earth.
Elliot,
Okay.
that's you. That was really upsetting and gross to watch.
I'll say it again, but less close.
Yeah. Say it
You know,
again.
you know, you know how some podcasts have like at the very beginning of the episode they have like an upcoming and then shows like clips from the episode.
We're gonna show, we're gonna show
DNF
that,
the
and then
book.
him being like
I will kill
JD
you.
Vance.
JD Vance,
Next episode on
Kamala
Considering
Harris,
Yeah, next episode on concerning Cremlings.
upcoming.
Anyway, but yeah, so I
Um,
think that was so weird. And
wait,
then he's just like I'm looking at it right now on my computer, but he's literally like this with his hair, and he's just like he's standing in the
Wait, who?
corner,
how
like that
emo
with
he
his
is.
hair down.
Eric?
And I'm like, what are you doing?
When
Like,
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Shall we move on?
yes.
Did this
Um,
emotionally impact anyone at all?
I mean, I never like laughed or
Did any of you
cried, but
guys-
I didn't. I was enjoying it. Like for the second two volumes, I enjoyed it.
You know who
But
my
that's
favorite
like,
was?
ooh.
What?
Lord Admiral.
Yeah,
He
same.
was
He was
good. He
actually
was
Yes.
good.
Okay.
he was pretty
So
I
good.
was
funny, so funny.
because I was like
He's like
to kind
Breeze.
of to kind of round that out. Basically the only reason why I gave this book 2 stars was because of the potential of the world building and Lord Admiral. I thought Kenton was cool, but it was a little too cliche for me.
I didn't care about Kenton at all.
But yeah, the Lord Admiral, so cool. And I thought that was like it seemed like he spent like I was able to connect with him quicker and like be like, "Oh, he actually like has a horrible back like not horrible, but like he had like something in his backstory that like we're like, "Oh, we're able to like empathize with
Yeah,
that."
and and his backstory was good. I thought
Yeah,
it
it
was
was really
interesting,
cool.
and it furthered your understanding of the plot and the whole like political landscape of like how
Literally.
these things work. And it was cool.
Yeah,
Can I
I agree.
also I some sorry, I'm bad at collecting my thoughts.
You're good.
Yeah,
A
yes, you
way
are.
a way that this book negatively impacted my emotions was Chris. Okay, and this is like I think this is not so much a Chris problem, but a Brandon Sanderson problem, where
Oh,
he has
right.
a tendency to make some female characters very abrasive and annoying and like
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Too
talking about?
witty.
Like yeah, no, but witty is it
So
like not
Rene,
witty?
yeah, all her female characters
And
are like,
this happened with Sereni or whatever. Where
Serenity.
she would just like she would just be like
Yeah.
verbally abuse like Raoden for no reason. And like
I wouldn't
Chris
use
does
that
the same.
word.
Okay, but yeah, but like whenever I don't know, it just like bothered me. Like whenever Chris or whenever Kenton like would do something, Chris would just be like, "No, that's stupid. You have
I
to do it
don't
my
think she
way."
said that.
But
yeah,
no, she
this
I
okay.
can't.
I think she was less harsh than Serene.
I
I feel
agree,
like
but she was still
all
harsh for like I
Yeah.
this
don't
made
know.
me
Just,
realize, like, I feel like all Brandon Sanderson's female characters are kind of the same. They're
Well,
kind of
they
just
all have
like
different
she's
aspects.
not
So yeah,
like other girls.
I
yeah,
I
agree
don't
with
think they're
every
the
that.
time.
same.
I was thinking Chris.
Are
I wondered if because Chris was written before Vale, right?
yeah, like the
Yeah.
nine.
Sorry, this is a Cosmere connection, but like I'll just say it later.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah.
I think
Anyway,
Will or
but yeah,
Shalana for
the other
this.
thing I
Maybe
liked was that. So the only thing that I did appreciate was that Kenton really was a leader, and like while I think parts of his like aspects of his character were kind of corny or maybe cliche, I did still think that he was like an okay protagonist. Like he's not like the worst I've ever read. And he was definitely like a leader. And I think it's cool because it's once again like one of those things where like both of the protagonists have this like extreme confidence, but I think also like Chris is a little bit different because is this taking place like thousands of years ago in the Cosmere or like what's happening?
I have
We
no
don't
idea.
we don't know.
Taking place now.
I think
Take place right
yeah.
now.
I don't think
Yeah,
we know.
in the present, 2025.
Doesn't
Yeah,
exactly.
No, yeah, but
but it's
anyway,
so
so all
advanced
to
in
say, I just
technology
think it's
and
like
politics.
interesting. Like you said, like they're kind of similar, but there's are certain aspects
I
of it
don't
like different.
I don't think okay. I don't want to be that guy the guy who has endless opinions about women's rights or whatever. But like no, okay, that's not where I'm going.
Okay, where are we
But
going with this?
like you know those people that are always like the like men who always have opinions about like I
In
don't
a
know,
good
like
or bad way?
in a bad way where they're just like
Oh,
always
yeah.
but you know what
You
I'm
don't
talking
need an
about.
opinion about everything.
You just need a belief system that you follow
But
to the extreme.
just like Ice.
Unless you don't feel like it.
Yeah, become
No,
If you
a
don't feel like it, just be Arc or whatever.
sorry. Okay, I'm
Everyone.
cooking with nothing right now. I'm just gonna stop talking because I have
Okay, just
I have no
we can just
direction.
cut it out if you don't want us to close it. I'm anxious to hear what you're gonna say.
I can speak for
What
Simon.
was it? Wait, what was? I don't even remember what I was
But
gonna
like, I don't
say.
want to be one of those guys who is like always talking about women's rights.
I mean,
I was
girls,
wait, no, it was about
Jonas,
you're a girl, Esther.
Brandon's or
you
Sanderson's
are a girl.
female characters. Like, was it? I don't. But what? I forgot what I was gonna say. It was like I don't know. I don't think they're like all the same. I don't know.
I
I have
agree. I don't
no
think that they're all the
no
same
ground
either.
to stand on. I guess.
I feel like they're not all the same. Like I think they kind of reflect each other. I think that Shalyn and it's interesting because it's like I think about like Shalyn and Serena. We were kind of comparing them last week, and like they both have this like portrayed confident. Well, Serena has way more confidence than Shalyn does, but Shalyn still uses like wit to kind of cover up the fact that she's like extremely traumatized. But they have different backgrounds. They have like different, obviously like features. Like it's all like, but it's like at some to some degree like each character is going to start reflecting the other because he's written so many books too. And so,
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. We don't have to harp on that for too long.
What are the parallels between sand mastery and other magical systems we've seen in other books? Or is that oh,
It comes from investiture,
good, really
and
good?
but it
All
comes
right.
out
Black people aren't
differently.
allowed to use it.
Black people
Um,
aren't allowed to use it. It's
Brandon, talk about. I mean, that's what Brandon.
That's
That's
why
what
I
he's.
said he's Mormon. That's
that is
literally why I said he's
exactly right
Mormon.
though.
That's what I thought, yeah.
White people get
Because
powers. Black
because
people
you know
don't.
the reason Kenton's so weak?
because he's black.
He's
Because he's half black. Oh my God.
That's crazy. Brennan is built-in
Which it makes so much
racism.
sense why they were so upset that he married a lady who was not from the white
yeah.
people.
That's
Lesson,
crazy.
life lessons.
You
So
Don't marry
bad.
black people.
but
But
you know
also
what
at
it's
the same time, it's
you know
like
what
That's
it's
the theme of
reflective.
this story.
It really is. Like, it just kind of feels bad.
but the thing is
But I mean,
I almost said the dark side people have a different kind of magic that we don't know about yet, though.
Yeah, that's what I was. The star marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, it was kind of like the whole point was like even though he had less ribbons, he was still as powerful. So
Yeah.
Actually,
it's
more because he almost like killed the other guy.
yeah.
So
I guess
Yeah.
it's okay.
They
I
like
guess
he could sprint faster.
Brandon's making a really controversial stance here and saying it's okay to marry black people.
Whoa.
If this
That if you take anything away from White Sand, it is that.
we should desegregate.
It is that.
Brandon's really like wow,
He's
that's
very
a-
innovative, actually.
I know.
He's very.
Kind of. I don't know, like, if they ever heard about this. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Wait.
I
I
feel
learned
like
something.
more people got to
guys.
read this. It might change some
yeah,
lives.
I mean,
Guys, I just
Crazy.
realized.
another note on characters that I feel like made us difficult for us to like even get to know them in scenes was every 5 seconds there was an assassin. Every 5 seconds there was an assassin.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like we're gonna sit down and have lunch and we're gonna get to know more about the
Assassin.
characters. Assassin. Actually, there's 2 assassins. Actually, this one was actually now the guards are gonna turn on them.
Dan.
Actually, now they're gonna go on this boat and everybody's gonna try to get them. Actually, now they're gonna be at this palace and everyone's gonna turn on them there because this society actually hates this person. It's like, dude, calm down.
We
Anyway,
should
sorry.
we should have
So-
like I'm gonna put an important information questions to ask Brandon Sanderson if we ever meet him, and one of those will be why did you make this book like this?
Oh my
I
gosh.
think he would have a genuine answer, though.
Like
I
no
feel
about like
Then at
civil
the
rights
very
movement.
And then at the very end, when they're like, when he like dies and like sees a version of his dad, and I was like, why did he grab from like every single every single book or like movie where it's like they like speak to their dad and like their
I
darkest
know.
moment?
Their
Like it
dead
was like
dad.
Lion King, Black Panther,
Remember.
Star
Well-
Wars, like everything, and he was just like, I just was like, and so we had just watched Black Panther the other night, and so
Oh.
then it was just like, why are they doing this? Like, this doesn't make any
But
sense.
it's pretty sick in Black Panther, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
I
super
love it in
Black
Black
Panther. I love that
Black
movie,
Panther.
but why are they doing it? Oh, that doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
okay, I thought it was.
Oh, that's fine.
I took it as it was something to do with the autonomy, like something to do with the shard or something.
Oh,
I
you
thought
think
no,
That
I
was
think
giving
it's
him
just-
that vision.
he just got like high and had that vision, I think.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, 'cause that's not his dad. His dad's the villain.
Well,
The
but
villain.
that's the first. But that's like what you would think at first. But like, it's Brandon Sanderson. He makes everything
Here's the
matter.
thing. I think
which
Brandon
is-
Sanderson sometimes just says like, "Oh, I'm just gonna put this in there just because I'm lazy." Like he doesn't want to have to explain it, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's like something that's gonna come later."
That's
And
what,
it's
that's
actually
what
just him
Fabrials
thinking.
are, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I'm just gonna explain
Wait,
it
what?
later.
Fabrials?
That's what it felt for me. I just what are you doing,
Oh.
Elliot?
Wait,
All right.
Gabriels were extra.
No, I
He's just
thought
like
Wait, you thought those were
unexplained.
lazy?
They were never shown. They were told.
Wait, what? No, they were literally
What?
shown.
let's talk about this when we get to Stormlight.
Wait, what?
I've never been able to
Joe's is like
conceptualize Fabrials.
Gabriel's like I don't even remember seeing that in the book.
No, I
think
don't
they
remember
make- they
like
make
Guys, I
sense.
think Brandon Sanderson retconned Fabrials in Wind and Truth. They never existed before Wind and Truth.
I have no idea
And-
like
He just like
how like
pretended they
actually
were there
work
all
in
along.
Like I know what span reads are. Like I don't actually know how they like. I don't. If you ask me to draw a picture of a Fabrial working, I have no
Span
idea.
reads are like texting, but like with pen
Yeah.
and quill.
So
I
you've
know
got
that.
Seons, which is
With
video.
pen and paper.
No. Okay, wait,
That's-
how are we talking about? We should talk
Okay,
about Fabrials when we get to
Cosmere.
Stormlight.
Okay, guys, this is Cosmere Connections. This section is going to be very filled with spoilers. So if you do not want to hear those spoilers from other books in the Cosmere, or you have not read those, I would suggest leaving now. And while you're leaving, make sure to leave a comment, subscribe, and like if you so choose. Thank you.
Like, give me any
Not
comment
no
about
no
that
no.
anymore.
Sorry, this is not like if you feel like it, you have to. It's I have a legal document.
Okay.
that you clicked
What
on this video.
what Cosmere connections did you guys pick up on in this book?
Chris.
Yeah, she's like everywhere in the Cosmere. Hoyd,
Yeah.
he was at the very
Wait.
end.
But then why is
No,
I
Hoyd
read-
was in like
I
throughout
read
the whole
this-
book.
I
Right,
read
he
this-
was.
Yeah.
Who was he?
He was just in the background of random panels.
Oh, I didn't know that. But he was he was playing the guitar at the very end though, or the instrument, right? That was him,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know he was in the background.
Sorry, Esther. Can I cut you off?
No, I was just thinking. Yeah. No, so, Chris, isn't she in Bands of Mourning?
Is she?
I haven't
That's
read it. Don't
what I
spoil.
saw.
I
Sorry.
have no idea
Okay, I'll
actually.
shut up.
So
She
No,
is
yeah.
in. I do know of at least one appearance. She comes in the flesh in a book, but I won't say which one it is.
Yeah. Wonder what that would be. No, yeah, but literally, I read this thing on Reddit and it was saying how they, oh my gosh, how she's actually knows more about the Cosmere than Hoyd does.
It's not
what
true.
side
Oh,
of Reddit are
that
you
would
on?
make. I could understand that
You went
actually.
like
Because
That would
they
make
said
sense.
that she was the same age as him.
Wait, really?
Yeah, but I don't understand that
no,
because I'm
no.
like,
I
she's
But this
think
supposed
happened a
she's supposed to
while
be betrothed
ago.
to Gevalarn or whatever his face is. So why would that happen?
I think that Reddit post was made by Chris. She was like, "Oh yeah, Chris knows more about the
No,
Cosmere than Hoyd."
no.
Okay,
Women
wait, I'm gonna
do.
go find it. You guys start talking and I'm gonna look at my
Um.
Google history.
So yeah, Chris. Bayon is also
Yeah,
in elsewhere. He's
I've
he's one of the three people looking for Hoyt in the Way of Kings, along with Du
Yes,
Galadon and
exactly. Demo.
Demo.
yeah. Oh, that's cool. I recognized his name. I was like, I definitely have read this name
No,
somewhere else.
literally.
You
I
know,
was
he was
like,
Blunt. They called him Blunt in
because he's in
Way of Kings.
interlude 11 or
Any more connections?
Well, obviously the Shard autonomy shows
yeah.
up elsewhere.
We don't.
But
We'll get when we get to that. We will get to that.
Okay, sorry
also
guys. I'm
the
still trying to find that Reddit post. Just give me a sec.
okay. But also the sands we know are in Stormlight Archive many times.
Yes, we see
Yeah,
them.
many times.
Many.
Okay, so Esther found.
She's in White Sand, obviously, Mistborn Secret History, Mistborn Era 2. So, someone was asking what makes her be able to live so long. Um, and I guess she's like living in Shadesmar or something.
Okay, makes sense.
And this girl said, I think there's she said, I have a theory that she found a Dawn shard on Tel-dan that gave her the ability to be immortal, but I don't know. And then this girl was like, well, her hair, well, actually, never mind. Sorry, I won't say that. That's
Was it just a theory?
Oh, no. Okay, I can't say that either. That's actually a spoiler too.
Jonas, what are you doing?
Is he doing his Karen thing again? Oh, okay.
He's doing like the ears out of the hoodie.
It's like that Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should do this actually.
All right,
Um,
we only have 10 minutes left.
okay.
So
You guys keep talking. I'll try to find it.
Okay. Can I say something about the artwork? This isn't Cosmere Connections, though.
Like, this could be prose.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's Prose. Okay, welcome back. We're out of Cosmere Connections. Um. So I have something to say about. Did anyone find it jarring that the art style kind of just changes like two-thirds
yeah,
in?
Okay,
That
yeah. They changed
it just
illustrators.
changed. Yeah.
yep.
I
But
did
I don't
not
know
like
why.
that.
I didn't like it either.
I
It was
also thought,
immediately so boxy and weird.
yeah, what looked like one of those. It looks like a kid's book you'd get
Yeah.
that
Yep,
was like 5-minute Marvel stories.
Yeah, it
Like
looks like
literally.
that. Yeah, it's like I mean I was the art
it
style
was
itself.
bad.
I wasn't like the original art style. I wasn't like attracted to it, but I thought it
It
was
wasn't
fine.
bad.
It wasn't bad. It felt very real and it was like very detailed. And then it changed and everyone's like smooth and it just felt so
Yeah.
smooth. And it's like this doesn't feel I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so side note, so she said so this was somebody on 17th Shard, and this person had asked a question to Brandon Sanderson, and they're like, is Hoyd the most knowledgeable about what's going on in the Cosmere? And he said no, Chris is the most aware by a long shot. Um, Naz knows a lot as
Technically
well.
on
Hoyd might know
top.
more than Naz, but he is pretty in the know as well, so it's close. So I guess Chris knows the most, and Hoyd is second.
Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, she is in every. She does write ours like thing for
Yeah,
every
and it's
single.
like she is very detail-oriented person and takes the time to research very deeply into things. Hoyd will research enough as he needs to know and sound really smart and get what he wants.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so that's the point on that. But that was straight from Brandon's mouth. So,
That's
but is
cool.
it true though?
well,
Okay.
Brandon wrote it. I don't know, probably.
Okay. Are we ready to look at Goodreads reviews?
Yeah,
Because we've
okay, so
got like,
there's not very many 5-star
there we
reviews.
go.
They're
Yeah,
all in different
and they're all in
languages.
Thanks.
Spanish.
So I
Uh,
found, I think it was maybe 4 or 3-star reviews. Oh, here we
English,
go.
English.
English. Okay.
Who is this? Wait, didn't we
Oh,
find
this
a
is
review from Matt earlier? A different Matt for Elantra? Was it the same Matt?
I don't know, maybe. He gives it a
Maybe.
4. The
Hi,
desert planet
Matt.
Spain is locked between two suns at once. Okay, we already know that. Duh.
This is kind of just like,
It's
this is.
one of
Um,
those reviews that just repeats what happened in the
Oh
book
wait,
and
yeah, this
gives.
is.
Boring.
This is just like
yeah,
a
it's freaking
summary.
crap. Okay, we don't
You
care.
suck, Matt.
Still
I'm just
getting
Oh,
kidding.
it's
good.
I'm
Spanish.
sorry.
Matt, we like
All in
you.
Spanish.
I
Please
love
keep
you,
watching our
Matt.
videos.
Esther, why did
What?
you answer in
If
Spanish?
you, Matt, if you ever watch this video, please,
I'm
Shout out
sorry.
Matt. Yeah.
But why?
please,
But why did you just
Not to go,
summarize
Esther.
it
Go,
in your
Esther.
why?
review?
No,
What?
no,
Also,
no,
why did you do that?
Matt, if you're watching this video, why?
Okay, so he
How did
thinks
you get
that
here?
this is
Okay, this is.
on paper, it includes a new prologue. Um, Isaac
Wow.
Stewart were able to turn
You
this
guys,
into a
you're
statue we're looking at.
reviewing the Spanish book. That's why you're.
No, this is Omnibus.
Oh, Omnibus.
I guess a
This
lot of
is just
Spanish people like White Sand.
Good for them.
You know why?
Oh my gosh.
Please shut up. Okay. Kindly. Okay, we have 6 minutes.
Finally, shut
You
your
shut up.
trap. Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum. I never feel so true. Sweet Caroline.
Wow, we're back. Okay.
Oh, what do you
So we're
mean we
gonna
never
look at Debbie's
left?
review. Shout out Debbie. This looks like a great review. Okay,
Let's
so she
go,
said the
Debbie.
concept was interesting. The execution was lacking, like we said. I hope Sanderson polishes his prose draft because we're interested in the world and the magic system, which we thought of. Um, she said that she has enjoyed lots of graphic novels and manga, but it wasn't the format that was an issue, it was how unpolished it felt. Clunky, repetitive dialogue. Ice's bizarrely worded inner monologues to the complete lack of depth in certain key moments. Also agree. To absurdly inconsistent artwork.
Also agree. Strongly
And it's
agree.
difficult to see this book as a strong addition to the Cosmere. I agree.
Exactly.
Overall, the pacing of the graphic novel felt off, with important events quickly glossed over, abruptly wrapped up, or tied in too neat of a bow, while other topics were lingered on longer than necessary. Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. Um, wow, she has a really good way of describing this.
Yeah, she just like hits everything straight on the.
Should
Literally,
should Debbie be the fifth member of the podcast?
yeah, Debbie, we want
She
you.
has like 360 reviews on Goodreads, so we could just do one.
Let's
We
just
could
Wait,
go
follow
over
her.
her.
follow.
Let's
Yeah,
follow her.
follow her, and then her
Go,
reviews will
Debbie.
be at the top.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
so characters were cliche, overall plot was predictable. I agree.
Like it.
Some of the reveals could have been more powerful if they were given the build-up they deserved rather than being thrown at us one after the other. Like I felt like the reveal of what's his face of Lord
Gavilan
Admiral's
or
background was actually more interesting than
wait,
Saz,
who?
whatever his name is. Like you know what I mean? It just was like, and that's supposed
wait,
to be the big reveal, is the
the
assassin.
reveal of who?
I was saying the reveal of like the Lord Admiral to me
Oh,
like more interesting and cooler,
hmm
even though it was less action than like Sazerain or whatever his name
yeah, yeah.
is.
Oh,
Did
I
you
Like,
found
guys?
a.
Well, this is random, but did you guys predict about Elorin or whatever? You guys catch on that?
Ellery?
No, maybe mainly because I
Um,
just wasn't thinking when I read it.
yeah, same.
Man, I wasn't thinking
Honestly,
either. I was trying to
I
call
kind of fell for the whole Dryal thing because I was just like, I guess the whole book's predictable, so it'll be a predictable villain.
Oh.
But yeah, no.
I think I caught on. I think I like had a thought like in the first volume.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's Aloran? Because he's so perfect. But whatever,
Yeah.
that's besides
He's
the
a little
point.
too submissive. Yeah. Okay, and then the omnibus version was better. Yeah.
We should rate
Wow.
it on
Wait,
Okay.
Goodreads.
did you read the part about the art style?
Yes. Yeah. Um, this had the feeling that the novels weren't fully polished. It is especially evident in the omnibus edition because the added scenes were drawn in the new art style, so we kept jumping back and forth. That's what I thought was weird too. Is then I was like, wait, did they like switch
Yeah.
midway through the book? It was so weird. Um, so yeah, she said she'll come back to it, but it's just kind of cool to have it as background for Easter eggs. She gave it a 3, which I guess is pretty fair. And she just
Yeah.
read this like a couple months ago. That's
Oh
exciting.
wait,
Yeah, it was like in January.
Let's see what else has she reviewed.
I'm
the way,
looking at her Goodreads.
there's a good one-star review by Bengus Kong.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
That's awesome. Okay, let's go back.
I feel like we're straying a little far.
Let's go to 1 star.
It's the top one.
54 people rated it.
Oh yes, I saw this earlier. I want to do this one. Okay.
Yeah.
This graphic novel is an embarrassment for Dragonsdale. Do not buy this. Do not read this. It is so far beneath Sanderson's storytelling standard that it's hard to believe it got approved, and not approved originally, but enthusiastically revised and reissued. Instead of putting Isaac Stewart and Ben McSweeney on the time-consuming job of adding to it and revising this unsalvageable atrocity, and releasing it into a shiny new omnibus to bait people like me into buying it, they needed to just let it fade into obscurity with its 3 separate volumes that were hard to get a hold of and easy to ignore. It's the clearest illusion of the idiom, you can't polish a turd that you ever imagine.
Yeah.
This might be the worst thing I've ever read and suffered through, and I've had some great reads. Okay, that's like insane. I've read some worse
I
stuff.
know. Dang.
It didn't
So
do much to set up with the new prologue to establish the setting, political context, characters, or plot in a way that would have given me to care even the tiniest bit about anything that happened. I don't know how much about the visual side of the graphic novel storytelling, but people who are more familiar with it say the channeling and art leave a lot to be desired. What it did have was excessive, cheesy, juvenile dialogue, utterly uninteresting action scene after action scene. How many inept assassination attempts could possibly fit into one story? That's so real. I
This
feel
guy,
like
he feels the same way about White Sand that I do about Sonic 3. I hate that movie. I don't know if you. I just hate it.
Stop. Shut up.
White
It
Sand.
wasn't the worst movie
Sorry,
ever.
that's not about
Sonic 3 is it is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I
Oh,
hate
wait,
it with a burning passion. Oh yeah, we have like
my
3
God.
minutes. Sorry.
I feel like the last worst movie I've ever seen is like one of the X-Men movies. I just do not like them at all.
We should read the part where it
Three
says
is not bad
the roasting
at
of
all.
Chris. You
I
should
don't
read
know
that
what.
part.
Anyway, so then he says, I would say I'm going to try to forget I ever experienced this horror show, but Sando said he's going to work on revising the prose version to get it up to his current standards. And if that ever gets released, I'll probably need to suffer through the story all over again as a Cosmere completionist.
That's so relatable.
Can I read it now?
Yeah. Ready, Jonas? Is going to read the rest.
Even if it's better in the prose format, everything related to the dumpster fire of a graphic novel is not spoiled for me, including Chris. He had previously spun an enigmatic world hopper I wanted to know about no longer. Man, I wish I could go back in time and not read this.
I'm going to like it. That's hilarious.
Dang, that's pretty brutal.
You want to comment?
Did I comment on this? I feel like
Genghis Khan will rate. He responded to every single.
Comment, like, and subscribe.
No, don't.
Yes.
What should we comment? Should we comment something funny?
Just comment.
Genghis Khan? More like Genghis Khan.
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, do you have anything else to say about the book?
Yes.
Also, wait, Genghis Khan, if you're watching this, I like your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment.
Yeah, we enjoyed your review.
It was funny.
Also, if you're watching this,
dramatic, but it was good.
Go over to Booked with Genghis Khan. That's his YouTube channel. He has a good YouTube channel.
Do we have anything else to say?
Let me check. Make sure we covered everything.
Oh, actually, I did want to say something. I feel really sad because I remember seeing somewhere Brandon people were talking about like Brandon was talking about White Sand, and he basically wants to make the graphic, not the novel, pretty much exactly the same as the graphic novel. So it's probably not going to be any better.
Well, no, I think it will be because
I mean he has to fill up more dialogue.
It's gonna be rushed. He's gonna be able to revise the dialogue, and he's gonna be able to explore the world more because he'll probably add scenes.
No,
So
I
those
guess
Yeah,
this
he
could be
has
good.
to because otherwise the whole omnibus could be fit into a maybe 200-page novel if he just
Really?
left in the regular dialogue. Like, if he doesn't add more things, then it's gonna be super short.
Really?
Yeah, what?
I thought it would because
I don't see
really?
any of his videos.
No, like I'm saying if he didn't add anything else like you're
YouTube
saying,
channel.
Simon, it would be super short.
But this is like the length of a because most adaptations from novel to graphic novel, like a 700-page book would be about this length, I think.
Oh, really? No,
At
I'm
least
saying
from what
he
I've
didn't
read.
add anything else. All right,
All right.
guys. Thank you for watching. This has been another episode of Concerning Cremlings. Um, I think Simon, do you want to do the rest of the outro? Sorry.
Sure, let me get my phone.
Oh no, you're
Wait,
fine.
where's
I can do it if you want. It's okay.
no, yeah,
Okay,
if
just
you
go
don't
ahead. Okay.
mind.
Yeah, so this basically next week, our episode will be over Mistborn Era 1, The Final Empire, which is the first book in that series. Very exciting. I think we're all very excited for Mistborn. We love this series, and I feel like we're getting into like a lot more of the like familiar territory of the Cosmere. So it'll be really fun. And then also you can find our schedule in the show notes. Our Instagram is just at concerningcremlings_. And our email address is thecremlings@gmail.com. And we now have a Goodreads account, and our handle is at Concerning Cremlings. Very simple and easy. It will all be linked down below. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
Okay. Until next time, life before death.
Strength before weakness.
Journey before destination.
Unless you're reading an unnamed book.
What?
WaT.
Okay, guys. I hope you have such a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for final.
Don't look under your
Bye.
bed.
Toodaloo.
Okay, bye.
Well, I'll be looking forward for Mistborn.
Okay.
So,
Bye,
I
guys.
won't.
bye.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Bye. Wait. Oh, they all left.